Dan, strange question, but here we go. Courts. We've got them. We're taking them to court.
Yeah.
I would say the problem with a court is that even though they're 6 weeks into the course, they've done some media law, I think it's quite a scary place to go. Would you agree?
Yeah. It's going to be quite an alien experience for you, which is why we're doing it. It's a little bit of a comfort zone thing as well. There are certain processes and requirements of how you report in court and how you conduct yourself that obviously we'll touch on, that you have to bear in mind before we go.
And one thing which may sound a bit odd, I'm going to probably, because we've had, I won't say we haven't had to do it. It's been an intense day for everyone.
Yeah, full on. Yeah.
Full on exam, well done with the exam, full on with great questions, incidentally, with the Katie press conference. I thought that went well.
Really impressed, yeah.
My take on it may sound an odd thing. I've gone and put dress code, turning up smart for court.
Yeah.
Mainly because I didn't want people to look like they were appearing in court as
In the dock, yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever have to go and dress smart yourself for any events, for anything, or are you normally quite dressed down?
If I was ever reporting on events, I would always go at least smart casual. So when I went to report on football games, I would normally stick on a shirt, maybe some suit trousers and a t-shirt, a decent jacket, something like that, just because if you're in professional environments, and a court absolutely falls underneath that, if you look the part, then you kind of just fit in seamlessly, I think. So when we go to court, I would definitely suggest, look good.
Yeah.
Wear some smart gear, to be honest.
And one thing I don't know if you'd agree with me on this one, it's still telling a story. There's the law that might intimidate people. They might think, oh my God, there's law. I'm going to a place full of lawyers. They might sue me.
Yeah.
But you've still got to tell a story.
Yeah.
It's about storytelling, but within a kind of like, there's a legal framework. We will give you advice on the law if there's anything tricky.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, still, and I would advise them to have a look at that story, and we'll get the link and we'll get because it was in the
Crown Court story.
Yeah, that Bournemouth Crown Court story. That made the Nationals. And if you look at the Daily Mail, it's a sort of story which is quite just kind of crazy from the court case, a bit like the press conference today. You've got to still extract the story.
Yeah, the important information. The processes are exactly the same. I mean, journalism effectively boils down to public interest. Are the public going to be interested in the story? And you'll find most stories, or a lot of stories that are divisive or attract attention or get people talking, tend to be court stories. Sentences, what people have done, why they're in court in the first place. And that ranges from serious offences to something quite menial, which might make an interesting local community story potentially. So, yeah, we'll go to court. We will see how that process works. We'll immerse you in an experience that you probably haven't experienced before. Hopefully, you haven't experienced before. It's going to be very, very different, but ultimately, everything you've learned so far, it's applying all of the same fundamentals to produce, effectively, stories on court cases. We've done it already, just a different approach, I would say.
Yeah, and I'd say perhaps on a court story, we'll see the size of it, but it isn't as if we need them to write a massive court story. They could probably get away with 150 words, which is about 6 pars, which is about the size of a radio report. And it's about whether they can tell a story in those 6 pars and it be legally safe.
Yeah.
But it's also got to be like a radio report. You don't have the luxury of space. That's got to be a good 150 odd words. So
has to be very, very much like on point. And the good thing is, you don't have to ask any questions to get information on this. It is given to you.
Yeah.
Similar to the exam you've just done, you have information given to you. You then choose what you do with it. How do you package that? How do you write it up? What do you lead with? It's the same when you go to court. You get given all of the details throughout the case. It's then down to you to put that down and formulate it into a story that makes sense.
And, okay, maybe I'll go over this, but it isn't necessarily even the order of the details that they've given you. You don't have to go and follow the chronology, which is like the time ticks. You don't go and do like a football match. You wouldn't start a football match with the referee blew the whistle, they kicked off, the ball went out for a throw in, blah, blah, blah. And in the 90th minute, Peter Cech, the Chelsea goalkeeper, got kicked in the head and had a life-threatening injury. Well, that's kind of like a very old reference, but I was trying to be topical with football.
2005.
But I'll give another example. Once I went to a court case, this bloke came up, did something really minor, something like shoplifting, I'm not trying to disrespect shoplifters. If you've got a family, I come from a family of shoplifters, but so he did shoplifting, fine. So if I'd have just written a report, bloke fined £200 for stealing prawn sandwich from Marks and Spencer's, whatever, intro prawn sandwich from Marks and Spencer cost a man 200 quid. But what he went and did is when he was sentenced, he was so angry when he was sentenced, he took off his artificial leg and he threw it at the magistrates.
Well,
so that was your intro. There we go, and it is.
If you do that in chronological order, then you've got the most interesting part at the end.
Yes.
So again, it's you thinking about how you order the information you're given.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just a little anecdote, actually. I think when I was here, we went to Magistrates Court in Bournemouth instead of Crown Court. And the very first case that I walked in on, I sat down in the press bench and I looked to my left, and the person in the dock was, I wouldn't class him as a friend, but someone I'd grown up with for years and years and years. Enough that if we bump into each other, we'll have a nice conversation and that kind of stuff. And I had no idea that he was in that kind of trouble. And I just looked at him and locked eyes with him, and I was like, I've got to leave the room now. I had to excuse myself. So my very first case to cover, I had sat down, about 10 seconds later, got up, and then left and did another one. So your experience won't be stranger than that, I don't think. That was a really strange my first experience, yeah.
Other than, and I will add to that into terms of this, not to try and be competitive, but
you're going to one-up me.
I'm not. It's not one-up me. I'm not going to say this. I just go and say that this reflects badly on me. I've had family members up in court when I've been covering as a journalist, and I've got rolled up in court, and I've had the family in there, and that's kind of a bit awkward.
Yeah.
I've had family members. I've been reporting, they've been trying to hide. So there was 4 of them once. They'd been in sort of like punch up in the town centre. They were trying to hide because they could see that I was in court. I was reporting on it, and they were trying to hide. As you do. All right, I think that's enough. I think we're done. Another successful video. But I think they've done well. I will just go and say this with the exam. What I've got from people was that they felt prepared for it. They felt within their capabilities. If we'd have given that in week 1, I think they probably would have gone, oh my God, this is terrifying. But hopefully with the tough prep we've gone and done for it, that they can see that they've gained confidence in their writing abilities.
I'd say so. And I've seen a real tightening in introductions as well, which is good.
And we're early days. We're still early days. We're only week 6, and I'm just going to say this. If anyone feels, I could have done better in the exam, that kind of like is what we're hoping to do. You can do better, because if you came here and you were able to do that exam in week 1 without any problems, kind of wasting your time. We are still trying to challenge you. We're still trying to push you.
Exactly
that. But I think we're done. I think that's enough. We can go back to a good reading week. Have a good reading week. We will see you soon. Take care.